Yo, 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 I think we're live. So, what's up, guys? Welcome to our new show, Taking Our Talents to South Beach. I'm going to start doing these every week, maybe instead of every Friday, a couple times a week. And the setup for this is kind of difficult, right? And I think next time you guys see me in here, I will have my studio actually set up and everything. But, no, and so, but yeah, and so, just coming in here talking about cool and interesting things. And there's such a cool community out there of just fun, cool people, but just going live, letting things happen, letting things develop, and just, letting things just happen. And so as I work on this new course, Carrying the Fire course, I had this ebook that I, spent a lot of time on. This is like a much updated version of that, right? Where just the little tips and things that, help you overcome hurdles and obstacles easier. And as I work on it, the thing is most people don't like realize is that like people are just such a factor in everything we do, right? Whether you are an introvert or no matter what you do, people just play a factor, right? And sometimes we don't hit our potential. We don't go where we want to go, simply because we don't know and understand people, right? And the getting bogged down by the drain that like social stuff can create, right? Nobody wants to like, go to like a social event and just be like, oh, like I don't even want to like. And I think we want to focus on what we love, what we're passionate about. Get rid of this. Come on. Where's my stuff? But I think, one thing I've been thinking about is this working? This show's over already. But someone who, was kind of like a phenomenon for a while, was like a real trend, not trend, but like, was very, very popular. And I kind of like talk about this in the new course, but a guy, this might sound kind of random, Dane Cook. So Dane Cook is a comedian, one of the most successful comedians of all time in terms of like popularity and like ticket sales, things like selling out Madison Square Garden, and for, he like was this guy who like, boom, right? He was just there. And as someone who had never heard of comedy, never listened to comedy. And I think a lot of times it's easy to be dismissive of something that's like the new thing, like the new trend, the new popular thing, where it's just like, okay, that's just right. It's pop, right? And I think sometimes you can look back and go, there's certain people or certain things of where it's like, no, like you're wrong. Like people like Eminem, right? It takes like years to go, oh my gosh, Eminem's like one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT, right? Jordan Peterson, like, dude, he's a brilliant guy. And I think it's easy to be dismissive of things that are like trendy or popular. But I remember being like, like a kid and like, oh, like that name Dane Cook, like it's such a, but you hear, when I heard it, it was like, oh my gosh, like what am I listening to? Like he's just talking, like you're driving or working. It's like, and it's like I had never heard anything like it, right? It was like, oh, like I just had never, like he's just talking, being funny. And I think the thing that really allowed him to become like this national phenomenon is a strong word. But he was like, I had never heard of a comedian, right? And there's something about like something that's natural or like that really resonates with us. And I think like he was very what is the word? Nostalgic, but talked about like his youth, like, funny things growing up as a kid, that even if he wasn't funny, you just liked him, right? Even if he was, he was goofy, he was silly, he was likable. So even if he wasn't funny, but like, things like, doing a heist, like that's his dream, like, but there was something about that silliness that naturalness that just connected with you, that nostalgicness that just resonated with you. And I know he had he had a thing with another comedian, and the flip side to that is finding balance between what you pay attention or what you are around, right? Where if you're around certain people, you want to have your own unique stuff, your own unique ideas, and I know people who, if you're not around the right people, like it'll mess up your thinking, right? I remember for like a 9-month period, like I need to go to a church where I'm a complete stranger. I need to go to somewhere where nobody knows me, right? And that's a good thing to do. That's a healthy thing to do, and to find balance between what you pay attention to, because you want things to be you, right? Your unique you. And so he was not, the comedy community is like this awesome community, and he was like not in that group. And so the flip side is, I just think he's a really interesting person, but he was the youngest of however many. He had like 5 older sisters, something like that. And I think older brother, maybe one younger brother, but he was the golden boy, right? He was the golden child of his family, right? And so there's something about like someone who is possibly not spoiled, but where it's like, who wouldn't want to be the golden child, right? And if you've ever met someone who is either the youngest or an only child, right? There's a certain their approach to themselves and to life is much different, right? There's been like a love or something that they feel that a lot of people don't feel or don't experience. And so I don't know what the right word is, but for him, he was this golden boy, right? And so he developed into this amazing comedian, this hilarious, comedian that even if he wasn't funny, you just loved him. But there was the flip side is you need to pay attention to the psychology of other people, right? By not doing so, by you want so badly to be like your unique you, and like you don't want to like know what thoughts or opinion, but you need to not be. And I think he kind of created somewhat of his own headaches by not like acknowledging or not paying attention to, and that's a balance. Like that's a balancing act between finding your unique voice, but at the same time, like what the people you are around or whatever that you need to, empathy or whatever is important, right? And I think it's easy to just go, I'm doing my thing, right? But he was, I think, the real thing that allowed him to become what he was, and like this was this naturalness, that childlikeness, that kidness that he retained and kept, for a long time, that silliness, and I think but finding that balance between who you're around, what you're around, finding your unique ideas, and I think that's important in everything, right? It's easy to get caught up in this person's thoughts and this person's thoughts and this person's opinion, right? And finding a few people that you listen to, pay attention to, get advice from, is really important, and finding that balance and so I think as I work on this course, it's so cool, like the things that we're motivated by and inspired by, it always boils down to people, right? And there's certain foundational things that if you just do, I'm not like pushing anything. What I'm saying is, like, if you can learn and understand certain concepts and you just do them, right? You're disciplined in them. You follow these you think of like the Bible, like the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not, 1,000 years ago, that might've been like a real struggle, right? You're laying in bed, gosh, I want to, right? And by not doing that thing, you open up so many doors, right? And I think if you niche down and niche down and niche down, right, there's certain things, if you just focus on that, you just do that thing, right, it opens up so many doors, right? The day the age we're living in now, it opens up so many doors, and so much of it boils down to our interpretation of people, right? Our interaction, the way we handle people. And I think, and as you level up and level up and level up, you just need to find that balance and find the people you want to be around, right? As you level up and I think the thing so many of us are just so motivated by is fun or potential. And I think when we learn to enjoy the process, embrace the process, it makes for so much more fun, right? And guys like, people who have like a lot of wisdom, I'm always so fascinated by like Phil Jackson, right? He always talked about the process, right? The process of winning, of going from point A to point B, right? We enjoy the process, and we can look back, sometimes things sometimes when things are fun, you don't look back as like a fond memory, but when you do the things you got to do, right? That's when you look back. Cedar Point is not too far from here. It's one of like the best amusement parks in the world. I've been there so many times. I couldn't give you a single good memory of a fun weekend or a fun day there. It's the camping trips where you get rained on all weekend, or something funny or unexpected or cool happens that you look back on and just like, you're laughing, right? Those are the memories that you sit around with your friends and family and just like, you're just laughing about. And I think when, like setting all of this up, it doesn't look like much. The back end stuff that went into this, it was it's way more than it looks. And I think like when you do the things you got to do, like it just gets easier and easier. Next time I'm in here, this will be painted and way sexier. But and I thought I could go live to all the platforms. Turns out I can't. I can only go one at a time. But if you guys like this, sign up for our email list in the link below. And just sending out cool emails every week of just interesting things, interesting concepts. And sometimes it's the simplest piece of information that makes you go, oh my gosh, why didn't I know that? It's so simple. It's so easy. And when we have that example, that story, reinforcing that, it's like, wow, that makes life so much easier. And I think at the end of the day, we all want to go somewhere, right? And so, all right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. So, hit the subscribe button and sign up for our email list, and we'll see you next time.